Looking for movies to watch? You are at the right address. I have listed the movies that I think movie lovers should definitely watch for you. I can say that the movies that make up this list are my favorite movies. Of course, this list can be longer. If you share your favorite movies as a list in the comments, everyone can benefit. Now let's quickly start with my list. I can say that this movie is a masterpiece that I think watching it once is not enough, in that you can catch much different details when you watch it a second time. Shutter Island 2010 is a psychological thriller directed by Martin Scorsese and starring Leonardo DiCaprio. It begins with a police detective named Teddy Daniels, who together with his partner, Chuck All, goes to a hospital for the mentally ill. Their mission is to find a patient who has mysteriously disappeared, but as he encounters more and more strange events and mysteries on the island, Daniels finds himself in a world that is both psychologically and physically broken. Filled with deep psychological themes such as the subconscious, trauma, and perception, this film invites the viewer to question the limits of both the characters and their own perceptions. What would you do if you were left with a blind killer in total darkness? The story starts off simple. How hard can it be to rob the house of a rich blind man? It starts with three young men planning to get rich by committing an easy robbery and breaking into the house of a blind old man. If you watch the trailer, you can see that this movie promises to be more horrible than we think. Apart from the fact that our blind man is a war veteran, it makes you ask the question of who would be king if the house completely loses power. The movie locks the audience to the screen with its claustrophobic atmosphere, gripping story, and unexpected suspense elements. Is a 2016 Spanish mystery and thriller film directed by Oriol Paulo. Spanish is one of the films that shows that cinema is progressing very fast. This movie, which I found very successful in terms of editing and screenplay, also has a fast-paced and gripping script. The frequent changes in the story and the fact that it constantly turned me upside down made me put this movie on the list. The movie focuses a lot on details and almost no point is left out. We move forward by putting the pieces together like a puzzle. Another movie I can recommend to you from the same director is El Cuerpo. If I talk about the story of the movie briefly, it begins when Adrian Doria, a successful businessman, wakes up one morning in his hotel room with his lover and finds her dead. Arrested as the prime suspect in the murder, Adrian meets with his lawyer. The viewer is also shown Adrian and his lawyer's efforts to solve the case behind the scenes. Don't ever let somebody tell you, you can't do something. Not even me. You got a dream, you got to protect it. People can't do something themselves. They want to tell you you can't do it. If you want something, go get it. Period. The Pursuit of Happyness with its famous, memorable line. It is one of the most powerful and inspiring moments of the movie. This line is one of the most powerful reminders that we should follow our dreams. We may face obstacles in life, but the most important thing is not to give up and to hold on to our goals. We should never forget this phrase. It is about Chris Gardner's difficult life struggle. Chris is in financial difficulties and his wife leaves him. As Chris continues his life with his son, they are evicted from the house. Despite the difficulties, he works tirelessly and achieves the success he dreams of. I can say that it stands out as an inspiring production that shows where patience, determination, and hope can take people. Make sure you watch it and make you watch it. The Shawshank Redemption, which ranks first on IMDb with a score of 9.3, is a masterpiece that I watched more than once. Based on a novel by Stephen King, the movie tells the story of Andy Dufresne, a man wrongfully convicted of murder and sentenced to life in Shawshank Prison. It is a science fiction movie directed by Ridley Scott and starring Matt Damon. You go on a mission to Mars and they think you are dead. You are left alone on Mars. What would you do in this situation? Astronaut Mark Watney is abandoned on Mars after being mistaken for dead by his mission mate and crew. But Watney decides to survive, relying on his own intelligence and abilities. He makes an incredible effort to survive by using all the resources around him. But the real challenge is not just to survive, but to find a way to send a signal back to Earth and be rescued. Be sure to take a look at this production that I enjoyed watching. 7 in Time 6.7. I thought the plot was clever and the potential of this movie was high, but the screenplay was weak. I think the plot is a bit wasted because of the script, but you should still give it a chance. It takes place in a dystopian future where people stop aging at the age of 25 but need time to survive. In this world where time is the currency instead of money, the rich live forever while the poor face death every day. When the main character, Will Salas, accidentally acquires a huge time fortune, he embarks on a crusade to expose the true face of the system and overthrow injustice. The Green Mile 8.6, I guess that most people have seen this movie, which I was very emotional while watching it and made me cry. If you still haven't seen it, open it immediately without wasting time. Coffee is a prisoner of the prison, and Paul is one of the chief officers of the execution room in the prison. Coffee, who is accused of murdering 2 little girls, has a kind and gentle character, always thinking of the good, contrary to his frightening expression. In addition to his good heart, he has some unusual powers. Coffee meets Paul, the head guard, and they develop a close relationship. And when Coffee learns that Paul has a disease, he uses his abilities to cure him. 9-Source Code 7.5. It is a science fiction movie that I think is little known and overlooked. I can even say that its IMDb rating is low compared to the movie. The story begins with U.S. soldier Colter Stevens waking up in a train. Finding himself in someone else's body, Colter tries to understand what happened and sees that the train has been blown up by a huge explosion. However, he soon returns to the same spot. Colter learns that he is inside a government-developed program called Source Code. His mission is to identify the terrorist who bombed the train while trapped in an 8-minute time loop. Finding new clues with each repetition, Colter tries both to prevent the attack and to discover the truth behind the mysterious situation he is in. 10 Split, 7.3 Split, 2016, is a psychological thriller film directed by M. Night Shyamalan. The movie tells the story of a man named Kevin Wendell Crumb, who has 23 different personalities. Kevin kidnaps 3 girls and imprisons them in a basement, becoming increasingly dangerous to them. As the girls try to cope with the different personalities Kevin harbors inside, Kevin's most dangerous personality, the Beast, begins to emerge. The movie is notable for James McAvoy's terrific acting and delves deep into human psychology through personality disorder. With a gripping screenplay that mixes suspense and truth-questioning, Split is also a production that bears connections to Shyamalan's previous films. The films that make up this list each offer unforgettable experiences in their own way. You can help everyone discover your favorites by sharing them in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more discoveries in the world of cinema.